Hey guys, Barn Geek here. I wanted to talk to you today. I wanted to take you up to my property, to our property. It's kind of our off-grid property. We're going to be building a cabin, off-grid cabin up here with solar power and all that stuff. So there's going to be a lot of cool videos coming up, guys. We've got acres and acres. This property is almost 100% wooded, and we've got about 60% of it is some pretty decent sized old blue spruce trees, and we're going to use those to build a post and beam cabin up here, and then we're going to do some food plots for deer, because we're going to do some hunting up here. We're going to do a kind of a small solar system for the cabin. We're talking about over the next couple of years. We're going to be doing quite a bit of logging. We're going to bring a sawmill up here to cut our own timbers. We're going to go from the resources that come with the property to cabin, and with minimal other inputs. I hope you enjoy the kind of journey we're embarking on with this. And I look forward to meeting you guys and sharing with you our projects. And this is an exciting thing. Isn't this property beautiful? I mean, take a look. Got all those nice big blue spruce trees. Some of them are very large. Like some of these are big enough for posts and beams and stuff, guys. There's a lot of small ones in here. There's a lot of really thick material, and we got some white pines. Oh, I've got to show you some of our bigger white pine. We have some huge white pines. They're probably not virgin timber, but they're at least second growth. And what second growth means is, they grew right after the main logging, the original logging camps came through. These are ones that either were missed or are, there might even be a couple virgin timbers in there. They were just a little small, on the small side at the time, 150 years ago. So they missed them. But this is a fairly young tree. But we'll take you over and see those. We'll kind of tour this property. So that you can see kind of what we got going on here. You can see all these dead limbs. These trees aren't dead, but they're so thick in here. You can see the blue spruces. They're so thick in here that there's no sunlight getting to the lower limbs. So these lower limbs have to be trimmed off, because this is a huge fire hazard. So there's going to be, I mean, look at this, dead and dry, so that could go up like a torch. What it is it's an old Christmas tree farm that was planted probably 40 or 50 years ago, and they just kind of let it get away from them. Maybe they harvested once and left all the young stuff, and we'll be doing a lot of clearing, a lot of thinning stuff out, and we'll be taking you along. We'll be videoing a lot of the process. You can see down here on the ground, you guys can see that. Oh yeah, there are a ton of wild strawberries and wintergreen. Let's see if we can find some wintergreen. I mean, the wild strawberries are just all over the ground. Huh. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's all strawberries. Well, if I find some wintergreen, I'll show you guys that. But you can see a lot of this area is covered with ferns. So we're probably going to brush hog this. Wouldn't mind getting the cows up here and having them munch on stuff, but it's probably going to be easier to get the tractor up here until I get my cow corral built and get myself a livestock trailer. build a fence and all that good stuff. But like I said, it's probably going to be easier to just bring the tractor up and just brush hog these ferns down. So yeah, come along for the ride. We're going to kind of go around the property in a few different places, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing. And I hope you enjoy the video. Stay tuned. Okay guys, here we are at the sand pit on the property, and we're going to turn this into a pond. That's one of the projects that we're going to be doing. Right now it's 100% sand, so the water comes in but it goes out quick. I'll show you kind of closer what's going on here. You can see uphill in that direction, water just kind of flows through this kind of an alleyway between these trees, and you can see how the water is flowing down and then dropping into the sand pit right there, and then kind of continuing on down, and it gets down to there. Well, when it gets down there, it just soaks right in, and it doesn't stay. Now if it did stay, we'd have probably with the way it's contoured here, we'd probably have a fairly small pond. But what I want to do is come in here and move some of this dirt around and make sort of a dam right here and bring the water up to pretty high level. So out in the middle there, we'd end up with probably around 8 to 10 foot depth, and so we'd have a big enough pond here to probably stock a few fish in, so that we could go fishing up here. You always want to be looking for resources like this, so that you can have a place to store rainwater on your off-grid property. So this is a good, they excavated this, I believe, to put a house in, but they never did, because right down there you can see the marshy area, the kind of cactus is growing up, or not cactuses, cattails growing up over there. That is cactus. Oh, because we have cactus. We actually have cactus on this property in northern Michigan. You'll have to see that, but we got cattails right there, and that is actually an old septic tank. I don't think it was ever used. I don't think there was ever a house here, but the top is busted out of it, and but anyway, that'll end up at the bottom of the pond filled with sand. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring some what they call it's the same stuff that's in kitty litter, the clumping clay kitty litter. Oh, it's a clay of some sort, bentonite clay. We're going to bring in here and we're going to sprinkle it. I think they said about, I can't remember what the ratio was, but we're going to do the correct ratio for sealing a pond. We're going to sprinkle it out around here, and then we're going to till it in with a rototiller, or maybe we'll use a rake. I'm not sure what we're going to use yet, but you got to kind of mix it with the surface material, and then we're just going to let it fill up, and hopefully we can do that before a rainstorm, so we can see the water fill in, and that should be a pretty cool project. To turn this, we've owned this property for a few years now, and we've never seen water in this hole. So, and it's pretty. Actually, it's in a very perfect location, because it's on a fairly high side of the property. So we could put in a dam with a pipe to run water down to the rest of the property. So, worked out really well in our favor that this hole was already here. Saves us some effort as far as excavating goes. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. That should be a pretty cool video series. And anyway, let's continue with the tour of the off-grid property. Alright guys, here it is. Have you ever seen cactus in Michigan? Here you go. Prickly pear cactus in northern Michigan. Who'da thunk it? This has actually got edible fruit. And I don't know how you eat it. I think you got to burn it or something. But you can see some of the fruit there. Sorry about my shadow. There's another one over here. This one's even bigger. The very sandy ground here, so I think that has something to do with it. It's fairly dry over in this area, but there you go, prickly pear cactus. Oh, and I just got a little bit of it in my finger. Don't touch the cactus. Oh, here's some fruit that looks like it's ripe right here. No, it's just a discolored piece of, but I think that's those little pieces right there, I think those are the prickly pears. You can see this blue spruce right here. That's a fairly big tree right there. Got that stinking Virginia creeper crawling on it. Well, at least it's not poison ivy. But at any rate, you know, that's a pretty decent sized tree. It's not huge by any means, but it's big enough to get some boards out of. And see, what we did here is we trimmed all the bottom limbs off. Remember, because that other one I showed you had dry limbs. Well, they were all this way. So we trimmed those off to kind of keep, you know, kind of make it look a little better and have less of a fire hazard. We got a lot more to do. It's kind of what we do every time we come up here. We'll grab a handsaw and just start sawing away at some of the smaller limbs, get them cleared out so it looks a little better, and kind of clears out some of the underbrush so that it's not such a fire hazard. But you can see there's still quite a few limbs on this. I'd like to get my pole saw out here and go quite a bit higher. I just got to get a saw head for my steel multi-purpose kind of weed eater. Right now I just have weed eater head on it, but yeah, we'll get there bit by bit. Every time we come up here and we trim a little bit more off and we get a little bit further. So anyway, let's continue with the tour. Okay guys, I'm standing here next to what I consider one of the crown jewels of this property. When I discovered these trees, these big old white pine trees, I was thrilled. And don't worry, I'm not going to cut these down. The logger in me really wants to, but at the same time, the same logger doesn't, because you know, this is a piece of history right here. If I see any of them that are looking sick, there's more than this here. If I see any of them that are looking sick, I'll take those out. Or if they're you know, at a danger to people, I'll take those out. But as long as they're healthy, nice looking trees, I'm gonna leave them here. So, because we're gonna enjoy these trees and pass them on to the next generation. But this white pine is just huge. I don't know if you can get the scale in video, but this is probably a 200-year-old tree. You can just see how massive it is. And it goes up just forever. Makes me wish I had a drone. I would fly it up to the top and let you guys see it from the top. But it is just huge. So, and this isn't actually. This is one of the bigger ones, but this is not the biggest one on this property. I'll show you that in here just a second. Okay guys, this is the crown jewel of the property. This is the biggest tree here. It's a white pine. It's probably about 250 years old. This tree, I would say, is most likely virgin virgin timber. That means it was here growing when the original group of loggers went through. I'm going to get in the picture, see if you guys can see the scale here. know if you guys can see the scale of this tree, but it is massive. Might be a little bit deceiving because I'm kind of a big guy, but it's a big tree. It's probably, I don't know, I would say about 40 inches across. This caution tape here is because we had trespassers. There was a guy that had a tree stand in this tree. And so we, you can see his drop cord hanging down right there. He left that there. But he came and got his tree stand. And of course we put the posted sign on the tree. And his tree stand was right up there. Which it looks a little deceiving. That's about 25 feet. And then the tree just goes up and up and up and up and up and up from there. So hopefully someday I'll get a drone and I'll get some drone footage of these beautiful trees. So, but anyway, I think that'll kind of conclude our tour of the property. I am going to be shooting more videos up here. We're going to be doing lots of projects, so if you want to watch those coming up, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so you can get notified when we do new videos. So you're not going to want to miss this stuff. So if you like this video, click the thumbs up, click that subscribe button and the notification button, and we'll catch you on the next video.